All right, let's talk about a crime that's hiding in plain sight. It's inside the one email that we're actually excited to open. You know the one, the shipping confirmation. Today, we are diving deep into what's called the ghost shipping loop.
Just let that sink in for a second. In today's world of digital fraud, a criminal doesn't actually need to ship you a physical product. All they have to do is ship you a feeling, a sense of anticipation. So what if that tracking link you're clicking over and over, the one that shows a package making its way to you, is really just a countdown clock for a high-speed digital heist?
Now, this isn't just a simple shipping error or a package getting lost in the mail. No, this is a deliberate performance. We're calling it logistical theater. It's a carefully scripted show that uses fake tracking data to create this illusion of progress. And it's all designed to do just one thing: keep you quiet and hopeful just long enough for your money to vanish forever.
So how do they even pull this off? Well, it all starts by weaponizing a very human emotion, that excitement you feel waiting for something you've ordered. They literally turn your own hope into a trap. Think about it. When you buy from some new online store you've never heard of, what's the first thing that makes you feel like, okay, this is legit? It's not the merchant's 5-star reviews, those can be faked. It's that shipping confirmation with a tracking number. We've been conditioned to see that number as undeniable proof that everything's okay. And that, right there, is the confirmation trap. It's the front door to this entire scam. The scammer's main goal isn't just to get your money. It's to get it and then have enough time to completely disappear. So they use a strategy called the wait and fade. The fake tracking data is designed to create a window of silence, usually about 30 days. And why 30 days? Well, because that's often the cutoff point for a lot of credit card companies and payment processors to easily dispute a charge. They need you to just wait patiently while the clock on your ability to get a refund totally runs out. And this really gets to the true purpose of all that tracking information. You know, every time you refresh the page and see a new update, departed sort facility, in transit, it gives you a little hit of dopamine. It reassures your brain, telling you, see, everything's fine, the system is working. This isn't a utility, it is a psychological sedative. Its only job is to stop you from picking up the phone and calling your bank. It keeps you calm and compliant while the theft is happening in broad daylight.
Okay, so we get the strategy now. Let's really deconstruct the mechanics of this thing. We're gonna walk through the anatomy of a ghost shipment, piece by piece.
With real shipping, it's simple, right? The asset is a product, the goal is to get it to your door, and the tracking is a helpful utility. But in the world of ghost shipping, everything is flipped upside down. The asset isn't the product, it's your patience. The goal isn't delivery, it's getting your funds released. And the tracking, it's not a utility, it's a sedative. There are two totally different operations that just look the same on the surface. Now, this isn't some random act, it's a clinical 7-step playbook for manipulating data. The source material actually calls it logistical shadowing. So let's walk through the process. The first 2 steps are all about earning your trust. It starts with step 1, the algorithmic lure. You know, that slick social media ad with a deal that seems just a little too good to be true. You click, you buy, and boom. You hit step 2, confirmation grooming. A really professional-looking confirmation email hits your inbox instantly. The whole system feels totally legit, just like buying from a major retailer, and you feel secure. And then comes the real technical heart of the heist. Step 3, the API deception. The scammer generates a tracking number. Now, this is either a ghost link, a completely made-up number on a fake tracking website they control, or, and this is the really clever part, it's a harvested number. That's a real tracking number for a real package that's just going to someone else in your same city or zip code. This tiny detail is the key that makes the whole illusion work. So with that number in hand, the performance begins. That's step 4, the logistical theater we've been talking about. Your tracking page starts showing those fake updates, processed, shipped, in transit. This little show has one single goal, to trigger step 5, the institutional bypass. See, payment processors often automatically release funds to a seller once their system sees a shipping event. That fake or harvested number is the trigger that sends your money straight to the scammer. And finally, we get to the end game. Step 6 is the final ghosting. The tracking updates to delivered. You check your porch, of course, but there's nothing there. If you call the carrier, they'll confirm it was delivered, just to a completely different address. By the time you figure out what happened, the scammer has already executed step 7, the extraction exit. The website is gone, the social media ads have vanished, and your money has been moved and is long gone.
So the mechanics are pretty clear. But honestly, the bigger question is, why do we fall for it? Why do we sit there and wait patiently while we're being robbed? Well, the answer is all in the psychology of patience and the cognitive biases that scammers are so good at exploiting.
When you get that tracking link from some brand new online store, who were you actually placing your faith in?
Is it this merchant you've never ever heard of before?
No, of course not. Your brain is smarter than that. You don't just blindly trust some random pop-up shop you found on Instagram 2 minutes ago. So, what is really going on here? You're trusting the logo. Whether it's USPS, FedEx, or DHL, you see their branding on that tracking page, and your brain just transfers all the authority and reliability of that huge established company onto this unknown sketchy seller. This psychological loophole is called displaced trust. It's basically the hijacking of a familiar brand's good reputation to make a fraudulent one seem legit. The scammer doesn't have to build any credibility of their own. They just borrow it from a name we all trust, and we just kind of let them do it.
And they pull a whole bunch of psychological levers to make it work. Confirmation bias makes us want to believe we made a good purchase. That dopamine bridge of checking for tracking updates keeps us from thinking too critically, and it all leads to this state of decision paralysis. You might even suspect something's wrong, but you hesitate. You don't want to file a claim just in case it's a real delay. And that hesitation, that's exactly what the scammer is counting on.
All right, so we've deconstructed the crime and the psychology behind it. Now for the most important part, how you can fight back. Here's the defense protocol that can completely dismantle this scam. Against a scam that's built on digital smoke and mirrors, your best defense isn't some fancy software. It is a single, incredibly simple action. It is the ultimate weapon. And it's called the direct carrier audit. You just copy the tracking number they sent you, open a new browser tab, go directly to the official carrier's website like FedEx.com or USPS.com, and you paste the number right into their search bar. This one move completely bypasses the scammer's entire logistical theater and gives you the actual ground truth straight from the source. Let's build this out into a full protocol. First, always perform a direct carrier audit. Second, reject the zip code match myth. If the tracking shows it was delivered to your zip code but not your address, that is definitive proof of a scam. Third, enforce the 14-day friction rule. If you see no real, verifiable tracking updates in over a week, it's time to file a claim. Fourth, and this is so crucial, always use a credit card for its strong legal protections. And finally, when you do contact your bank, state your case very clearly. I have verified with the carrier that this tracking number was not for my address. I am initiating a chargeback. You know, this all comes down to a new mental habit. Your new rule for shopping online should be this simple phrase: I verify the carrier, not the merchant. The merchant can lie to you. The carrier's official database cannot. And this brings us to our final and most powerful takeaway. The single most important lesson from this entire explainer is just this: a link is not a package. So let's just quickly recap everything we've learned. The scam itself uses fake or harvested tracking numbers. The system is a playbook called logistical shadowing. The psychological weak spot is the wait and fade window, which exploits our displaced trust. And your number one protection is simple, and it is absolute: direct carrier verification. So we'll end with this question. The whole point of this scam is that it's a performance. It's all theater. Now that you know exactly how the trick is done, are you still going to sit back and watch the show?